Today we are going to cover the skewness concept. So basically, whenever I say that function is symmetric, okay, in that case, mean, median, mode, all of them lie on a center part, okay. That is, they are the on the balanced side. And whenever they are in the different positions, they are in the different positions, so there we can say that there will be some type of skewness. Okay. So in a normal case, when in normal case, if it is symmetric, so you can say that mean, median, mode will lie on a center point, and if it is uh, uh, unsymmetric or the non-symmetric case, okay, then this mean, median, mode will lie on a different points, and then we can relate it. So the concept of skewness help us to understand this particular mean, median, mode in a better way. Okay, so you can see this symmetrical distribution, which is in a bell-shaped or U-shaped format. Okay, so what this symmetrical distribution tells you, that all the mean, median, mode lies on this central value. Okay, so the calculation of mean, median, mode is very easy in this particular symmetrical distribution. Okay, but what about the asymmetrical case? So in the asymmetrical cases, the diagram will, or the structure will be called as the skewed parameters. Okay, that is, it is having some type of skewness. Okay, so in that case, in that case, we have seen that it will be positively skewed or the negatively skewed. Okay, so in the skewed distribution, we can say that the skewed distribution will be basically, if we saw that symmetric case, now after symmetric there will be asymmetric distribution. Under that asymmetric, it will be either positively skewed or the negatively skewed. Now what is the meaning of positively skewed and negatively skewed? You see in these cases, okay, let's see, have a look for this negatively skewed and the positively skewed. The meaning is, in the negative skewed, the distribution is skewed to the left hand side, that is on the negative side. There is some skewness, okay, some type of deficiency on the negative side. So this will be called as the negatively skewed. And in this mode value, you can see this mode value lies on the right hand side, or it is exceeding this central value, that is the mean and median value. Okay, and you can see the relationship between mean, median, and mode. Okay, so in this type of characteristics, in this type of calculations, median is the better uh, way to tell you the that central value or the central tendency. In the positively skewed, again, your skewness is on the opposite side, it is on the right hand side. Okay, so if it is on the right hand side, okay, so in this case your mean is exceeding the value mode and median, but we can see that the median is going to lie on the central part. Okay, and we have seen the relationship between this mean, median, mode by the case of empirical formula. If it is somewhat mid, that moderately skewness, it is having some type of moderate skewness, then what we can do, we can use the empirical formula for finding the relationship between mean, median, mode. And for perfect symmetric case, there is no need of that. Why? Because the parameters lie on the same point, okay, that provide the central tendency on a same coincident point. Okay, now this skewness, how we are going to calculate this skewness? I am saying that it is a negative, it is a positive case, but how to find out the value of skewness, how much skewed it is. Okay, so how we are going to test it? So there are multiple ways of testing. So see, we have seen multiple parameters. Okay, multiple parameters called as mean, median, mode. Under that mean, median, mode also we have seen the types of mean, types of median, or we can say that we have seen quartile, decile, and percentile. Okay, so how we can use these parameters to calculate the skewness? Okay, so we can use the following testing. Okay, so the first one is skewness is present if they do not coincide. That is the case. I can understand that thing, that mean, median, mode, whatever the value of mean, median, mode. So see, take a vice versa. Like I already said that if it is a symmetric case, mean, median, mode is going to lie on a center point, or they are going to coincide. Now, what is the opposite form of that? That means that whenever the mean, median, mode are going to coincide, that means that it is going to be symmetric, or there will be no skewness. Okay, or I can say that when mean, median, mode do not coincide, there will be skewness present. Okay, or the second case is if it is not the normal bell-shaped structure. Okay, if I draw a graph, if I draw a graph of the given values and I do not get a bell-shaped form, okay, then, or I can say that the diagram is not a symmetric case, I can say that it is a skewness, or there is some type of skewness. So I'm just checking whether it is having a skewness or not. Okay, the next parameter is how you can check. Third type, the sum of positive deviation from the median is not equal to the sum of negative deviation from the median. Okay, that is all the points from the left hand side, that is 0 to 50th% and 50th% to the 100%. The sum of all the values from the left hand side and the right hand side from the median is not equal. Then you can say that again it is not symmetric, or it is skewed. Next is, on the basis of quartile also you can decide if the quartiles are not equidistant. Okay, you have seen the cases of quartile, that is Q1 and Q3. Quartile and Q1 and Q3, basically Q1 indicates 25% and this Q3 indicates 75%. That means that in a normal case they are equidistant from the median, since median is a 50%. Okay, now if it is not equidistant, that is the values are not equal, or the difference from median is not equal, then I can say that again my values are, or my data is skewed data. Okay, and the last one is if the frequencies are not equally distributed, then again I can say that it will be having skewness. Okay, so have you got the concept of skewness? That is how we are going to test whether my parameters or my data is having some skewness or not. Okay, so let's move towards the next point. So you can see the combined graphical structure. This is the central distribution, symmetric distribution, and on the left hand side you can see the positive skewness, and on the right hand side you can see the negative skewness. So by this type of graphical structure you can understand the skewness. Okay, now what type of measures you have to calculate the skewness? Okay, so you have this absolute measure of skewness and the relative measure of skewness. Take a look of these values. On the absolute front, okay, on the absolute measure of the skewness, you can see the formulas related to absolute skewness. There are three formulas given in the absolute measure of the skewness. The first one is mean minus median. That is mean, and when the mean and medians are given to you, you can use these formulas. Okay, and when the mean and mode, that is you are not a position to use median. Okay, you are not in a position to use the median, then you can use the mean and mode. So the first formula, this formula, okay, this formula, the first formula under the absolute case, that is skewness sk is equal to mean minus median, ये कब use करना है? Whenever the formulas are, or whenever the data is not able to handle the mode operation. Okay, or mode is not possible on that particular data, or mode is going to provide you the extreme values, like the values are like you have the 5 values. For example, you have the 5 values 1 1 1 10 10. So what will be your mode? Definitely your mode is going to rely on the extreme side. So if it is on the two extreme side, that is uh, on a boundary side, then definitely it is going to cause a problem. So mode is problematic in that case. So in that case, mean minus median, this method can be used. Or suppose you are not able to find out median, then you can go for the mode min, that is mean minus mode. And finally, if you are not in a position of that also, then you can go for the next case, that is by using the quartile cases. So q3 minus q2 minus q2 minus q. Okay, so if the central tendency is not in a proper position, so you can use this particular q3 minus q2 and q2 minus q. What is this? Basically it is related to median case. So it is a situation where you will not able to be used to, or you are not in a position to use mean and mode. Then you can use the third case. Okay, so you're seeing the difference how or in which cases this absolute formulas can be used. Okay, that is for the uh, there are three formulas of the skewness, and how these three formulas are differentiated, or how these formulas are used on the case to case basis. Okay, so these are the three formulas, and these are the absolute formulas. That is, you have the exact formula, you use the mean median form value, and you will be getting the absolute measure value. Now there are relative measures. Okay, there are some relative measures, and that relative measures are based on some four methods, or you can say that you have the four methods of relative measures. So beta and gamma coefficients, so you can calculate the beta value by the formula. This is beta 1 is equal to mu 3 the square divided by mu 2 the whole cube. Now what is this mu 3 and mu 2? Basically these are the moment values. So it is second and third central value. Okay, so whatever the mean value we were calculating from mean form, that is the difference or the deviation from mean, that was x minus x bar, whatever x minus x bar we were calculating, that was called as the first central moment. Okay, and then you have the second central moment, third central moment, likewise. So that is again not in your syllabus, that is you are not having this particular part in your probability and statistics part. Okay, so what this basically beta 1 tells you, this is just going to provide you the value. Okay, and it is not going to provide you the direction. Okay, so by taking a root of this, Carl Pearson found out another value that is called as the gamma 1, and that tells you the direction, that is the whether it is a positive or the negative case. Okay, so this was a quick glimpse of beta and gamma coefficient. Now make sure that you are keeping your pen and paper ready with you. Okay, because we are going to solve the sums based on this Carl Pearson's. Now the second method, which is the main part of your syllabus, that is called as the Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Okay, what is this Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness? So what is this method? This method is most frequently used for measuring the skewness, and it is one of the more important formulas which deals with the mean and mode. Okay, so which three parameters are required? Mean, mode, and what is this? What it is? Standard deviation. Okay, so this SKP indicates that it's a skewness of Carl Pearson's. Okay, so it's SKP, Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness, and which is equal to mean minus mode divided by sigma. So suppose if you have some parameter, so for any type of frequency distribution, can you calculate mean, median and mode or standard deviation? Like, are you in a position to calculate? Suppose if you have some data, okay, some question is there, whichever the questions we have solved in the last session. Suppose for that particular data, I tell you that you have to calculate mean, mode and standard deviation. So whatever the formulas we have seen, by that you can calculate it. Okay, so it will be very easy, it will be a mathematical case to calculate the Karl Pearson's coefficient. Okay, so now what is the case, what is the range of values? So this Karl Pearson coefficient range in between -3 to 3. Okay, so because of this -3 to 3, it is going to provide some type of measures or some type of behavior. Just note it down, this Karl Pearson coefficient, because you are going to solve the sums based on this. So you can type and give a title called as Karl Pearson coefficient, and you write down this formula. Okay, after that, and then you can write down the range of skewness. So this particular measure or this particular method was basically based on mean and mode. Okay, I'm continuing from that same position. So this was the case, that is mean minus mode. Now if you remember your empirical formula, okay, that is, since it is a skewness, okay, since it is a skewness, that means that case of asymmetric, then I can use the empirical formula, that is the relationship between mean, median, mode, and on the basis of that I can derive this case, that is mean minus 3 times of median minus 2 mean, if you recall your empirical formula. Okay, and if you simplify this, you are going to get 3 times of mean minus median divided by sigma. Now, so this formula is again in a case of mean and median. So if you are not in a position to determine the mode case, then you can convert this SKP, that is Karl Pearson coefficient, in the terms of mean and median. Okay, so based on the coefficient of the skewness, what is understood? Okay, so we are in a position to understand that whenever the skewness is 0, that is after the calculation you get 0 value, we are going to say that this distribution is symmetrical. Okay, and that is there is no skewness. And when it is positive, okay, when it is positive, that means that it is positively skewed, and if it is negative, negatively skewed. And based on the values, whatever the values, like it was a sine and 0 value, and if it is 3, or that is plus 3 or minus 3, so you can say that it is more positively skewed or more negatively skewed. That's it. Okay, so take a question. Find coefficient of skewness for the following data. Mean is equal to 35. Mean is equal to 35, comma, median equal 41, and variance equal variance equal variance is equal to 14.
Sir, 1-4.
No, sorry, 49, 49.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So
Now,
SD will be root of variance, na sir?
so SD, that is standard deviation, is your root of variance. Basically, so if you calculate root of variance, that is SD, you will get 7. Correct.
Yes, sir.
And by this formula, which is visible on the screen, you can calculate the data, that is 3 into mean minus median. That is 3 into mean minus median is 35 minus 41. So you get 3 into minus 6, that is minus 18 divided by 7. So that's somehow comes to the around minus 3, near to the minus 3, or minus 2 point something will be there.
Sir, minus 2.57.
Yes. So what this values tells about the skewness, whether it is a skewed or whether it is a positive or negative case. So on the basis of minus sign, you can indicate that it is negative skewed, and
Negative.
it is negative skewed, and this 2.555, that is, it is, you can say that it is more negatively skewed. Okay. So we don't have to generalize it. Okay, you can simply say that it is negatively skewed. Now suppose it is not mentioned in that exam that which method you are going to use. So whatever the parameters, which one is the best one, and whatever the parameters are given, based on that you have to analyze, you have to decide. Okay. Okay. So just write down a frequency distribution. A frequency distribution gave the following results. Gave the following results. Coefficient of variation is equal to 5, SKP is equal to 0.5, sigma is equal to 2, and finally find the mean and mode of the distribution. Gauss-Piasson's coefficient is given. Okay, and you know the formula of Gauss-Piasson's coefficient, so which is visible on a screen. What is that? It is 3 times of mean minus median divided by sigma, or you can relate mean and mode also. That is, you have this mean minus mode divided by sigma. Okay, sigma is given, both mean and mode is required. Okay. Any other parameter is given in the question?
CV is equal to 5.
Can you recall any relationship between CV and this mean or this mode? What is CV? Do you recall what is CV? Coefficient of variation. This was covered in chapter, this third lecture.
100 times the coefficient of dispersion based upon SD.
Yes. So the
V
CV.
is equal to 100 into sigma divided by mean.
Yes. So you can use that particular formula and you can calculate mean value. Okay, because standard deviation is given, CV is given, so you can calculate the mean value. And if mean value is achieved, then you can use the formula which is available on the screen. So SKP is given, mean will be available to you, sigma is available already in the question, so you can calculate mode value. So Shash got the value, mean is equal to 40, mode is equal to 39. Okay, now we are moving forward to the next concept. Okay, that is Bowley's coefficient. Okay, so now this Bowley's coefficient is based on the quartile values. Okay, so whatever the values, whatever the concepts we have seen in the calculation, that was based on mean, median, standard deviation, that type of parameters. Okay, and this SKB, that is Bowley's coefficient, is based on quartile value. It is the based on the quartile difference or the quartile deviation. So you can note down this particular formula. So basically, if you are not in a position to calculate the value based on mean, median, mode, okay, so or if you don't have this standard deviation parameter, then you can go for the quartile value. Or in some cases, if quartile is given, then definitely, or you want to relate quartile with SKB or the coefficient of skewness, then you can use this particular type of formula. So this is the first case of the quartile, first case of the coefficient of skewness based on the Bowley's equation. Okay, so have you noted down this particular formula?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now this particular same formula is simplified in a second case, or you can convert this formula, that is Q3 minus Q2. You can simplify this Q2. Okay, Q2 is nothing but it's a median. Okay, it's nothing but it's median. So you can simplify this Q3 minus Q1 minus 2 times of median divided by Q3 minus Q. Okay, so Q3 plus, if you open the bracket, it will become plus. You can write on this particular case. Okay, so based on this, again, which type of conclusions can be derived? If the calculation, if the value is 0, so you can say that symmetrical distribution is there. If the value is greater than 0, it is positively skewed, and if it is less than 0, it is negatively skewed. Okay, so you can use the simple arithmetic uh, method, simple calculation method, and you can find out the data. Okay, or in a more complicated case, you can have a question where a table will be given to you and you will be asked to calculate the SKB. Okay, so it will be more lengthy problem. That is, you will be having one continuous case or one discrete case where you will be need to find out Q1, Q2, Q3, and then you have to use this formula and you have to calculate. So whatever the cases we are seeing, like whatever the question we have solved related to quartile, you can use that particular question and you can find out the Bowley's coefficient for that. Okay, for that cases you can find out the Bowley's coefficient. So this is the fourth type, that is Cayley's coefficient of skewness. And in this type of Cayley's coefficient of skewness, you have SKK, that is this formula with case of percentile and decile. Okay, so you can change this formula with that case of decile also, or you can change this formula with the percentile also. So you have P90 minus 2 times of mid value plus P10 divided by P90 minus P10. So it is, can you say that this formula is something similar as this formula, or you can say that this formula Q3 plus Q1. What is Q3? The most extreme quartile. Q3 and Q1 are most extreme quartiles, and median is mid one. So you can say that P90 and P10. P90, why you are using this P90? You can convert it to P90 can be converted to the decile also, D9. Okay, and P10 can be converted to D1, that is first decile, and P50 can be converted to D5. D5 means nothing but it's median. Okay, so it is the 90th percentile minus 2 times of, so you can simply this, you can write down this formula as P90 plus P10 minus 2 times of P50. P50 क्या है यहाँ पे? That is called as median. Okay, it is nothing but its median. Okay. So again, it will be a simple arithmetic case, that is you can calculate P90, P10, and you can find out the values, Cayley's coefficient. I'm just giving you a quick glimpse of this particular part, or you can convert that same formula in the percentile to the decile case. So instead of P90, you can write down D9, ninth decile. Okay, first decile, that thing. Some questions are given. We have already seen some questions based on the Karl-Pearson coefficient. Okay, and if you need to have a look at this particular question, you can take a screenshot of this question. Okay, and you can solve this particular question also. So in this, Karl-Pearson coefficient is given, SD is given, and mean is given. Mode is required. So you can calculate mode by SKP formula, and then what you can do, you can use the empirical formula, and by the case of empirical formula, you can use mean and mode and find out the median. Okay, is it understood?
Yes, sir.
You can take this question and you can try to solve the, or you can try to find out the Karl-Pearson's coefficient for this. If you want to write it down, or you can take a screenshot, or after that you can solve this particular question. So how you are going to find out Karl-Pearson coefficient? You will have to calculate mean, mode value, and then
This example, we have to find less than cumulative frequency, no?
yes, you can use the less than cumulative frequency. So if you are calculating median, so that will be the required case. So in this particular case, mean will be required, standard deviation is compulsory, and mode or median. So if you are not using mode, you can go for median. So I think so mode formula is, hello.
Mode is easy, sir. Hello.
Yes, I think so mode will be directly, you can apply the formula directly and will get the answer. Okay, and if you are going for median, so you will have to find out cumulative frequency, then respective values will be required, you need to prepare the table. But for mean, you need to calculate the mean, na? So for mean,
Yes.
so for mean you will have to use this case. So you will have to prepare the table. So somehow you are going to prepare the table. So you have to decide which method you are going to use. Okay, which parameter you are going to use. So this was related to skewness, and you have some concepts related to moments that is not in your required part. Okay, you can have a look at moments also. How moments are nothing but the terms which we have studied. So see, you have studied mean, correct? Then you have studied variance, that is variance and the standard deviation. Okay, and now we have studied skewness, and finally the fourth moment is nothing but it's a kurtosis. Okay, so mean, variance, and skewness, and this mean, variance, and skewness, one parameter is central moment and one parameter is raw moment. Okay, so we don't have that deep cases, so we will stick to this particular part, whatever we have studied, that is Karl-Pearson and the Bowley's one. And this was the initial parameter which we have seen. If it is if we are relating that is mu1 and mu2, mu3, mu4. So based on mu1, mu2, mu3, mu4 also we can calculate the skewness. Okay, and based on the this mu2 and mu4, kurtosis can be calculated. Okay, so all of them are related to each other. You can calculate the values. So you can just have a look at this particular value, that is how mean, variance and skewness is correlated.